A very good morning, students. We are going to start with our another class after phycomycetes, that is ascomycetes, higher fungi. We are going to talk about now. These are commonly known as sac fungi. They appear, if you look at their diagrams, they appear like this. They have a structure like this kind of structure they have, right? They appear like a sac basically because of their esci in which their spores are produced. Because of that, they are known as sac fungi. They are the group, these are the class which are having unicellular members as well as multicellular members also. Unicellular members of this group, that is yeast, and multicellular member is penicillium. Mostly they are saprophytes, they are decomposers, but few of them, they are growing on dung or fecal matter or the undigested matter also. They are known as, then this fungi is known as coprophilous. So why it is known as coprophilous? Because this fungi, members of this fungi, they can grow on dung and fecal matter, and few they act as a parasite. So saprophytes, coprophilous, and well as the parasites. Mycelium, definitely because they belong to higher fungi group, so they are having septa, right? They are septate as well as they are branched. They are branched and they are having septa. Now if we talk about their asexual reproduction, if I specifically take their one example of this from this group, that is the yeast, then yeast reproduce through budding and fission. Budding is what? Budding in which outgrowth is seen in the parents, from the parent's body, right? So first a nucleus divide, then this bird grows up to that size so that it is able to survive in the environment, it is able to survive into the outer conditions. Then it get detached from the parent and then grow as the individual yeast, right? So as you can see, that is the parent fungi, parent yeast, and then in the parent body, this nucleus, it divides, right? Nucleus divides, and then this nucleus that moves to the outgrowth which is formed from the parent, and then there is the detached and it live as the individual yeast. And the next method is the fission. In the fission, cell elongates first, then nucleus divide, and there is a constriction appears in middle of the cell, and a plate is developed which through which the cytoplasm in the both side is distributed, and finally two new yeast cells they are produced. So yeast, it reproduce asexually through budding as well as fission, but few other members they reproduce, like the penicillium, it reproduce asexually by the conidia. What are conidia? Conidia, they are produced exogenously at the tip of a special hyphae. They are produced at the tip, right? Exogenously. And these special hyphae, they are called conidiophores. So at the tip you will see that lots of conidia they are developed. So this is one of the structure which is you can observe in the penicillium. I will show you here. As you can see, let's look. So as these kind of structures, like these kind of structures, they develop on the hyphae at the exogenously point. Lots of conidia they are developed. So that is few members they reproduce asexually through conidia also. Sexual reproduction, it mainly takes place through three steps: plasmogamy, karyogamy, and meiosis. When plasmogamy, happens, the cytoplasmic fusion take place first. In the karyogamy, fusion of the nuclei happens, and finally through the meiosis, haploid spores are formed. But in the yeast, if you ask me about the yeast, sexual reproduction, it takes place, it is done by the hologamy also, right? Hologamy means when all the cells they are haploid, when the cells of the yeast, when the body cells of yeast are haploid. So what will you call that kind of yeast whose cells are haploid? You will call that as a haploid yeast. So in the haploid yeast, when you are having haploid cells, they will act like gametes, right? They start behaving like gametes, then they fuse, they form zygote, then this zygote undergo meiosis, and finally again haploid cells are formed. So as you can see, in this whole stage, there is only one step where diploid is formed, diploid structure is formed. So this kind of cycle is known as haplontic, and yeast follow haplontic life cycle. So in yeast, when all stages are haploid except one, so that kind of life cycle is known as haplontic life cycle. Yeast also follow diplontic life cycle, in which when the cells they are diploid, right? This is diploid yeast, in which cells are diploid, they undergo meiosis, they form gametes, and then they fuse to form the diploid yeast. This kind of life cycle is known as diplontic, in which all the cells, all the stages, they will be diploid except one. Only, as you can see, only these cells they are haploid. So life cycle in yeast is haplontic. It shows diplontic life cycle also. It shows haplodiplontic life cycle also. Means half of the life cycle it remain as the haploid cell, and half it remain as the diploid cells, right? Half of the life cycle is spent as haploid, and half of the life cycle is spent as the diploid. That kind of cycle is known as haplodiplontic. In except other than yeast, like in Penicillium and others, sexual reproduction, it happens through the spores. See, asexual reproduction is also happen through the special structures, and those special structures they are known as conidia. But sexual reproduction happen through the spores, and those sexual spores they are known as, please pay attention here, that sexual spores they are known as ascospores, and these are produced in endogenously in a sac-like structure which is known as ascus, which is known as our ascus. So inside the ascus, basically these ascospores, which are the sexual spores, they are produced, right? And they are produced inside endogenously, and conidia it is produced outside. And these ascus और प्लूरल इसका बोलते हैं हम, प्लूरल इसको बोलते हैं एस्काई. These ascus or asci they are formed in the fruiting bodies. These spores which are called ascospores, and they are produced inside the sac like ascus, and these ascus they are formed in the fruiting bodies. So these fruiting bodies they are the characteristics of this especially this fungi, as sometime you must have seen developing this kind of structure, umbrella kind of structure sometimes. So this is the fruiting body in which asci are developed, and inside the asci there is the spores which are known as your ascospores. One more time, sexual reproduction it takes place through a spores. These are sexual spores, and these sexual spores, they are called ascospores. Where are these ascospores developed? In a sac like structure which is known as ascus, right? This sac-like structure is known as ascus, and this ascus is developed in a fruit-like body which is called your fruiting bodies and are called ascocarp. तो ascocarp के अंदर develop होते हैं ascus, and ascus के अंदर develop होते हैं हमारे ascospores. Now what is the difference then between conidia? Conidia, they are asexual. They are asexual structures, and ascospores, they are the sexual spores. Please remember that ki conidia, they help in the asexual reproduction, and ascospores, they are the sexual spores. Now the uses of fungi, it is very much these few fungi, they are very much used by the scientists in the genetic work, in the microbiology work, in the biochemical work. That is the aspergillus, claviceps, neurospora. These three, they are commonly used in the genetic work, and which is used in the antibiotic formation, that is your penicillium, and which is Baker's favorite yeast, that is the Saccharomyces. And there are few fungi which is eaten by the people. They are edible fungi, that is the morels and truffles. Like this is the, as you can see, this is used in the genetic work by the scientist aspergillus. Then this is claviceps is it mostly observe on the rye crop, cereal crops. It can be easily on the tips. As you can see, this black structure, that is the claviceps. Then on the burnt stems, that is the neurospora. It is also very commonly used in the science work. And then antibiotic production में जो use होती है, that is the penicillium. And Baker's choice, Baker's favorite yeast, that is the Saccharomyces. And that which we can eat, that is the morels, and this is the morels and truffles, right? So this is all about our class that is called Ascomycetes. Next we will talk about Basidiomycetes and Deuteromycetes.